Welcome into DNVR Bets Daily, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. It's more Hankover. We get more Hankover this week. It's first of all me, Hank, but you guys know that at this point. Today, I've said this a lot throughout the course of the week that we're going to make a bunch of money today. Today, it's actually going to happen. Trust me, because we've got Justin Michael from DNVR Rams here. We're going to talk some college hoops today, and I'm hyped.
Yeah, it's a pretty intriguing slate. I'm looking forward, I should say, to diving into all of this. I think there's some interesting matchups, particularly with some of the smaller leagues on this side of the country. So
Good.
it's going to be a fun one. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm really excited, and this one needs to go well because I've struggled. I struggled. Mostly what happened is like the Nuggets lost, the Avs lost, and when those things happen, like when I'm on this show, I try to be responsible and make good bets, but it's still just really hard for me to not say, well, the Nuggets are down 10. I can get good odds. Let's see if they have a comeback in them.
Well, I mean, especially in basketball, that's probably my favorite sport to live bet in terms of somebody going down. You can do it well in football too, if it's a good team and they go down 10 or something early like that. But I get your logic. And as far as the Avs go, I mean, nobody expects them to blow a lead with 30 seconds left against the Coyotes. So, it's unfortunate that streak came to an end. It's even more unfortunate that it was decided in a shootout and not with real hockey. But, that's the betting life, right? I had a rough one on that Avs game. Definitely didn't expect the T-Wolves to smack down the Nuggets the way that they did.
Not like that.
And then another tough one against the Jazz. So it's just been a tough stretch for the local fans.
It has. And like with that Avs game, that was just brutal. I think so you're really good at getting the runs in basketball games, and that's impressive. But I think what I'm best at is like those hockey bets, specifically those late game hockey bets where you're like, are they going to get the empty netter or not? They gonna get the like 6-on-5 goal or not? And that one, I was there with my girlfriend, and the Coyotes had been kind of like dominating things, and they'd had like a couple chances, and then they pull the goal, and you're like, they almost scored when they had 5 players. Now they have 6. And I bet the odds right there would have been incredible, but I just was too emotional to pull the trigger and bet against the Avs. And we lost.
I don't even know if you would have been able to bet it that late in the process, just because
probably not.
Usually like the last 2 minutes or whatever. But let's jump on into it. I mean, let's try and make up for it. Like you said, it's been a rough week for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've basically barely broken even. The CSU Wyoming game definitely killed me. That one going to overtime, but did hit the first half spread in that one, so that one kind of allowed me to keep it, I guess, mitigate the damage. It wasn't an absolutely horrible week, but the championship rounds of the football games really kicked my butt.
Yikes. Yeah, those were some weird games. Those were some weird games for sure. Let's jump in. I've got my big 3 here.
Let's get going. Let's stop talking about all the bad bets we've made and try and give out some good ones.
We gotta get that energy out, and I feel like it's emptied the system. Plus, my golf bets did well. Jason Day sitting here 4 under. Justin Rose is going to win his matchup today against Cam Champ. Bazuden Hoyt, we had him yesterday as the top South African. He's currently tied for top South African, but there's like 3 days left. We're happy. Yeah, my big 3 though. Let's check that out. If we have the graphic, there we go. Oregon -1.5 at -120. I love this one, to be honest, and I hate saying that. They're at Colorado tonight, for those who don't know, and Oregon has never won at Colorado before. Obviously, they've played quite often, being in the same conference, and it's a streak that obviously at some point is going to end. And, the Buffs had never won at Oregon until last week. I think this is where the script kind of flips, because Colorado's not playing good basketball right now. Head coach Tab Boyle is out with COVID. It just seems like it's going to be a tough one to win. And you could totally see it still, just because it's a team that has gotten hot and has put together some really impressive runs, and specifically has played pretty well at home. But I'm on the other side here.
At -1.5, I really like it, especially because that's come down a little bit even.
It has. And I think Stanford, they're at home against Washington State, a 3-point underdog against Washington State. To me, honestly, I think these teams are pretty evenly matched. I know that Washington State just beat Colorado 70-43 in their last game, and I think that kind of changes how this line is seen. But Stanford just went into USC and beat them a week or so ago. Both teams have some good results. Both teams have some bad results. Give me the points with the home team at even odds. And I think that's pretty good value. I think like this plus 2.5 or whatever should be more like a minus 125, minus 130 type of deal.
Yeah, I mean, to get that at plus money is really enticing. Like you said, I think Washington State beating, a struggling CU team by, double digits probably shifted this line a little bit, maybe altered their perception. I know that they've had a couple of decent games this year, but they're just too inconsistent. And to get that at home for Stanford, I think is incredible value.
Exactly. And that's why there's some other stuff I liked, and we'll get to that when we try to build this parlay. But again, just home teams. You take the home teams in college basketball, and that's actually not what I'm doing with this final pick here. So great timing there. But I've got UCLA plus 6.5. This actually moved from 6 to 6.5 while I was building this. And UCLA, Arizona, two good teams, two really good teams. And I think that UCLA, for some reason, is kind of getting overlooked. Not for some reason. They got beat up bad by by Gonzaga. They got beat up pretty good. Was it Tennessee that was the other one? But UCLA just has a bunch of really good players who can fill it up, and their defense can kind of come and go, but it's kind of in like an NBA sort of come and go, where it's like, is this a big game where we're going to actually defend, or is this a game where we just say, yeah, screw it, we can just play offense and put up 100 and win. And I think that, obviously they beat Arizona by like 18 the first time, and UCLA was at home for that one. But I think with that many points, again, I think that at Arizona, this is closer to a pretty even matchup here, and y'all take the points and be happy with it.
I see your logic. Like you said, these teams just played a couple of weeks ago, and UCLA really beat the brakes off of them. And it was kind of surprising because I felt like Arizona especially had, kind of leading into that UCLA game, had really looked like the best team in the country for a little bit. I don't know. I think there's some fool's gold with UCLA, and I think people bought too much into that tournament run last year. I think, the sample size we've seen over the last 2 years is much more indicative of who they actually are, which is, kind of an up and down basketball team. They have some really good scorers when Juzang is going, they're tough to stop. I also know that, Arizona, it's one of the tougher places in the country to play. I like the Wildcats to cover that spread, but it's just borderline to where, like, I could ride with you. I'll take 6.5. UCLA is talented enough to at least keep it close, but I don't know. Something about like the revenge game just makes me feel like Arizona at home, they just got beat down. Now they win this one by 10.
Yep. I definitely get that. And I do know that I knew that one was going to be one where we disagreed. Do you have your picks for the day, Justin?
Yeah, I got my big three as well,
Awesome.
which we got in here. We can pull it up.
Dope.
I'm taking BYU's first half money line. They are hosting San Francisco, who's actually a really good team. BYU is just it's a really tough place to go. Provo, they've won 12 straight at home. They've won the first half, in particular, in 33 of the last 36 home games. I like them to cover that, or it's just money line, so I like them to be leading at half. I also like the under, which it's actually gone up to 148, unfortunately, but Loyola Marymount at Santa Clara. I just don't really understand why this line continues to climb. Neither of these teams average more than 70 points a game. I don't know. It feels weird to me. I feel like there's some nice value there. And then finally, I've got New Mexico State to cover an 11.5 point spread against Cal Baptist. And Cal Baptist has actually been a decent team this year, which makes me feel a little bit nervous, but they're 1-5 on the road. They've lost 3 straight on the road as well. And again, Las Cruces, one of the tougher places to go. I'm all in on these smaller programs that have great home court atmospheres, the BYUs, New Mexico States of the world. We actually can get into a a couple of other ones. I hate Montana's matchup against Weber State tonight, for instance. I really like Weber State to cover 6.5 at home. Just a lot of really small schools with a lot of favorable matchups, and I think there's some really nice value here with these three in particular.
Yeah, I think those are good ones for sure. I feel like I have to push back against the Montana take just because of who I am. 4 in a
Here's the
row.
thing, Montana,
4 in a
they're
row.
10-0 at home, and it makes sense. They're really good on their home court. They're kind of terrible away from their home court. I think it's like 1-4, 1-5, or something like that. This Weber State team, they just have a ton of scores, man. Kobe McEwen, who's a guy that I literally watched play at Utah State in the Mountain West tournament like 6 years ago. And he went on and then he played at Marquette, and somehow he still has eligibility because of all this COVID stuff. Dude's like 30 years old getting buckets for Weber State. And those small Utah schools in general, I think are kind of just tough places to go, whether it's Utah Valley, Weber State, any of those. Hank is an FCS man, so he knows what I'm talking about.
Sure do. And of course, make all of these bets at DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app. And also, if you haven't signed up yet, the moment that we've all been waiting for since September is finally here. In honor of the big game, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56, is giving new customers 56-1 odds on either team. All you got to do is bet $5 and you'll get 280 in free bets if your team wins. Not a new customer? Well, you can experience Super Bowl 56 with same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, it's secure, it's reliable, and best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code DNVR, and get 56-1 odds on either team. Bet just $5 and get 280 in free bets if your team wins. That's promo code DNVR at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 56. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Pew,
All
pew,
right.
pew.
Time to get to this dilemma of the day. And that dilemma of the day is
I feel like that needs a jingle.
where's the value on tonight's college basketball slate? I was really hoping that graphic was coming because I was like, I don't remember how I worded this. I was like, was that our dilemma of the day sound?
I like it, yeah.
There's kind of separate.
Shout out Yahir, he's killing it, man.
Shout out Yahya.
Where's the value though? Let's dive into it here.
Where is the value? And we gave out some of our favorite picks. What I want to do is build a parlay. And I think the people who've been watching this know that my strategy for a parlay is typically to sell a couple of points here and there. Because the way it works is what? If you have 8 picks at minus 200, then that winds up being about plus 2,500, which is crazy value. And you don't need to necessarily have 8. They don't necessarily need to be minus 200.
I was going to say hitting an 8-legger is ambitious to say the least.
It is ambitious. But we're gonna find a couple of things we like, maybe tweak the lines a little bit to put it right where we want it. And I'll let you go first. Is there anything that you want to add? It can be from your big 3. It can be from somewhere else on the board. Just let me know.
Yeah, I like Northern Colorado to cover the first half spread of -4 against Portland State. UNC's won 34 of their last 37 first halves at home. I feel like this is kind of a time for UNC. Portland State historically is a team that the Bears don't actually do that great against. It's traditionally one of the better basketball schools in that league. They are down this year. UNC's got a ton of shooters. Bodie Hume is an absolute bucket. They've done a good job of adding some JUCO talent as well. And you can get that at -115. So I just like the value. Lead by a couple of buckets at half.
I like it. I think that's a good one. I'll go. Did you mention the BYU? You did take BYU, didn't you?
I took the first half spread. I just took BYU first half money line is what I took.
Oh, and what were the odds on that again? That must have been about even.
Yeah, it was like -110, -120.
I'm just gonna steal yours. We're putting that one in. Again, home teams. Love it. And I mean, it's a game worth watching too, which is always fun.
Yeah, the San Francisco Dons, man. The West Coast Conference is a lot of fun this year. Let's see. I like Oral Roberts to cover. They're at home. They're hosting Western Illinois. They got Max Azmus, one of the best scorers in the country. They're not quite the same team that was able to, take down Ohio State, make that run against Florida in March Madness last year. But I do love them at home to cover 7 points against a very, very average Western Illinois team.
I like that one. I'll go Georgetown. Again, home dog. I think they're +5 against St. John's.
I was going to say they're struggling, but neither of these teams have been very impressive.
And I actually want to see if I can get a couple more points here. Do we have any alternate lines? Yes, we do. There we go. We're going to take Georgetown plus 7.5 at -195. Home dog, they're going to keep it close.
I like that at home. I mean, something's got to give at some point. If they get blown out again, they potentially could be looking to move on from Patrick Ewing. It's been rough out there.
It has.
Utah State hosting San Jose State. I love that, but 20-point spread steep, even though San Jose State's terrible. I do like the over-unders 135.5. Utah State is tremendous defensively. San Jose State, they don't really play a ton of defense, but I could see a situation where they don't score enough to kind of hit the over. So I like the under in that one at -110. San Jose State at Utah State. Logan, one of the tougher atmospheres. And again, they're so stout. They have so much size. Everyone on their team's like 30 years old. It's a tough place to play. It's true. It's not, I'm not taking shots. It's just true.
It is true. I'll go back to the Pac-12 here. Utah is -6.5 against Oregon State.
Are we gonna make this an 8-leg parlay?
I think we're getting there.
That's like, where are we at already? That's got to be what, 5?
Is that 8 or is that 7?
I don't know. I can't count, dude.
I know. I can't count either. But again, Oregon State has 3 wins this year. Utah, nothing special. But again, we're at home. I feel like we've got a little bit of a theme going here, and so I think this is a good way to cap it off. Maybe we just change this and make it the all Utah parlay. Just drop everything except these Utah teams, and we just
BYU and Weber State. And
I like it. I like it.
There's value there. We could do that. Just do I don't know. Try and get some revenge for losing that Nuggets Jazz bet the other night.
But kind of the opposite.
Yeah. It wasn't it didn't work perfectly, but
Yeah.
I like that though, man. Oregon State's terrible. Again, they were a team that they got hot in the Pac-12 tournament last year. That was fun, but it cost CSU a bid. So I am bitter against the Beavers, and I hope they lose.
You can take Utah to win at -275. Again, not great value, but if we want a winner, we're getting up there. And we might as well, I feel like, throw Southern Utah in. Let's just make this all Utah. I think that's what we've kind of stumbled across here, is that
all right, well, then we got to get rid of Oral Roberts versus Western Illinois, and we have to take out
Georgetown.
I think that's it. Or no, Georgetown.
Oh, we had Northern Colorado in there too. But that's just a good bet. We have some good bets out there, but we also, I think,
it's just like the Utah. It's like the Big Sky. Just call it the Big Sky bet. Not all these teams are in the Big Sky, but it's all Big Sky country.
It is. Well, it's a little further north, but sure. Yeah, we'll go with it. Let's see. Anything else to get to before we get out of here? I got to get your Super Bowl prediction for sure. So let's hit that right now.
Oh man, I'm rocking with the Bengals, dude. They feel like the team of destiny right now. I think LA, I worry about obviously the offensive line holding up against probably the most disruptive pass rush in football. Justin, what about Utah State to cover the first half spread? Let me pull it up. I know I was looking at that earlier, but I feel like it was still pretty high. And at that point, when it's like almost the game spread, I'd rather just take the game spread and have 20 more minutes for them to be able to cover it, to be honest. They're -20 as a whole. Well, it's -12. It's come down a little bit. I think it was still like -15 when I looked earlier. Yeah, I like that. -12 first half spread, Utah State against San Jose State. I like the value there. again, San Jose State, they have a couple of guys that can light it up from 3, but they don't play any defense. They've lost 9 straight. And it kind of feels like a situation where Tim Miles knows his team isn't very good. The players know that he doesn't love them all that much. It's going to be kind of an awkward, like, he's a great coach and it's going to take him a couple of years. So again, Utah State much more dominant. Great suggestion. Shout out to the commenter there. Can we get the comment again so I can say his name?
That's Austin Novak.
Shout out to Austin Novak. I just felt bad. It was a great pick. I wanted to make sure you got the name recognition.
And just I put this parlay together in my bet slip. We've got BYU first half money line. We've got Utah straight up money line. Weber State -6.5. That's what you want. Full game spread, right?
Yep.
And then Southern Utah -8 in the first half. That comes out to +741. You've got 4 Division I basketball games going down in Utah tonight. I love it.
What if we just took Utah to cover the spread and try and juice it up a little bit?
Okay. I mean, they should be able to handle that.
That's what, 6.5?
It is 6.5. Utah juiced up 6.5. There it is. And the keyboard is still up. I don't want that. There we go. +1077.
I like it. Let's have some fun.
Love it.
Did you get Southern Utah in there too?
I did. -8 in the first half. Kills me just a little bit to bet against Montana, but you know what? We're betting against Colorado tonight too, so
it's about making money. It's not about, we're trying to give people winners. Sometimes I promise you I bet against CSU football this past season. I'll just say that.
I do so many dumb things. When Colorado was down against Washington State, I was like, well, maybe there'll be a buyout opportunity. Throw it on there at +1,000, see what happens. But this is responsible. This is the correction to the mistakes I've been making, betting on the home teams, betting on the teams I like.
Got to go with your brain, not your heart, man. And that's the hardest thing to do, especially when the teams you love are actually good. And that's the classic dilemma with the Nuggets and Avalanche. Like every night I want to bet on Nikola Jokic to get a triple-double because I love him, but he's not going to do it every night. So, you got to play the numbers a little bit.
Absolutely. I think that's it. I think that's all we got for today. Thanks for coming on here, Justin. And oh wait, no, we don't have. I wish we had lines for college basketball games a couple days in advance.
Yeah, we can't go. I will say there's some fun Mountain West games tonight. Boise State travels to Wyoming. Basically a pick 'em last time I saw, -110 each way. Really big game. CSU's got a huge one coming up against San Diego State. So, I'm sure I'll give Hank my thoughts on that when the numbers come out tomorrow. Thanks for having me on, man. I'm sure Dre somewhere is shaking his fist angrily because we're the disappointing children, letting everybody down while the parents are out of town. But
all right, that's going to do it for today. Everybody make sure that you're betting on these home Utah college basketball games. A lot of money to be made there. And maybe tune in, watch the Buffs tonight. See if you can make some money on Oregon too. Shout out to producer Yaya behind the scenes. And I'll be back tomorrow with the final episode of The Hankover.